Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 163.
163.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by Theme Park Connection in Orlando, Florida.
2 locations.
2 locations and 10% off if you say Mousesteps online or in person.
That's right, a great deal. And we always like a great deal.
Of course we do.
Also, our official travel agent, Pixie Vacations.
Right, and right now you've got to think about the Osborne lights are about to end. We're going to talk about them today, and this is a time to think about booking for Christmas, which starts next month in just a couple of weeks.
Actually, less than 2 weeks away from us seeing the Osborne lights for the first time.
Well,
That's
I think
crazy.
I think it's almost exactly 2 weeks from today.
And also, Maple Leaf Tickets, our official ticket agency, the best deals on tickets in town. Check them out. We are going to start at the Magic Kingdom.
We went to a lot of parks this week.
That's right. We're going to see at least 3 plus some other things. But first, at the Magic Kingdom, we had requests to do the new Pirates of the Caribbean. It's been recently refurbished. This sign is an understatement. We're going to get into that very soon. You'll notice, though, do you remember in the old queue back there was a skull with swords on it, and it said, yo ho,
you
a pirate's
showed it
light
to me
for,
because,
yeah,
I actually do remember it. So
it has been painted over.
Maybe they'll have it say, you may get wet, like
yes,
maybe
they
bigger.
Should be giant flashing lights like Las Vegas. You may get drenched because let me tell you, we were soaked. And we posted about it on our Facebook and we found out we were not the only ones.
And not the only ones that day of people that we, that follow us or we follow them. I mean
when I say soaked, I'm talking Bluto's bilge rat.
Well, you're talking Universal.
From Universal.
But, okay, only one other time do I remember getting this soaked on any attraction, and that was on Splash Mountain in the late 90s.
At Disneyland? Or
no, it was at Walt Disney World. It was like 50 degrees out, and a friend of mine had a sweater on, so her sweater was soaked, so we had to go to the outlet, the character outlet, and get some clothes.
So unfortunately, we're only going to see up until the drop, because literally the giant tidal wave of water that came above us went, it affected the camera lens, everything.
It wasn't
got,
really
very
my
wet.
hair as much as my shirt down, and especially just my lap. I mean, really from my waist down to my feet, I don't think there was one dry spot on me. It was a big wave.
It was
like
not
I've never
good.
had a big wave like that.
At the end of the ride, we looked in row 2, and there was 2 inches of standing water in the row behind us.
How do you know it was 2 inches?
Because I'm giving an estimate. I didn't have a ruler down there.
My feet were so soaked, for the next few hours until we got home. I was just so glad to peel off the socks.
On the positive note, though,
wear a poncho.
Wear a poncho. Bring any kind
galoshes.
of protective. Yes, galoshes. It is soaking wet. The lighting looks great. The attraction looks really nice. Everything, there's new costumes. The effect here, the mermaid effect, does not work. I was told it has been turned off. It will not be coming back. The projections of the mermaid in the water.
Oh, right. I did hear that, but we'll see what happens in the coming months.
But did you notice the difference in the rest of the ride?
I noticed that I got really soaked. I mean, after that, I'm just
too busy trying to.
I did look around. I mean, it looked nice, but not like many months nice. Like it was kind of like, oh, this looks pretty good over here.
Let's move on to happier times.
Pecos Bill.
Now that we were going in with less than stellar expectations.
There's new food items.
Correct.
And instead of burgers, it's now Tex-Mex. Where the other place, what is the other one called?
Tortuga Tavern, and we're going to have a preview of that menu at the end of this segment.
But we're going to go to Pecos Bill now. We had the fajita platter with the steak. We went all out for the $14.50, which is actually kind of a lot of money to me.
The most expensive thing in the menu, plus dessert.
Plus we got the churros, which were okay. I mean, I wouldn't recommend or not recommend them. And they have like slushes and such, but I think we had already spent $20, so we weren't going to spend
But let me tell you, $20 we did spend for the 2 of us.
The food was good, too.
But we were so full. We didn't even have dinner.
Well,
we were stuffed.
Because they have the Fix-Ins bar that has the grilled corn, which is really good. It's cold grilled corn.
Yummy.
And they have guacamole and salsa.
Yes, everything fresh. Very good.
It was. And guacamole is something I didn't really get into until a couple of years ago. So they do you can buy chips here. I don't really.
I used it for the fajita, though. So you don't realize you can put the guac in the fajita.
See, I'm not ready to mix it with anything. I just like it, on the chips.
And you can see everything has ice. It's all kept nice and cold there.
And very fresh. Everything tasted great. And again, the corn. And there is jalapenos.
Your favorite peppers.
Okay. There was, as you can see, there's a jalapeno on this plate to the left.
What
Jeff
a nice
put it
presentation I made there.
But Jeff took a little bite, and he's like, I said, "Oh, that's a jalapeno," and he's like, "Oh no, it's not hot at all." So he's like, "Take a bite, take a bite," and then I took a bite, and it was so hot.
Well,
like I'm like, ah.
Everything looks great. I think we did a very nice.
Jeff made
job
this
here.
presentation. Like about half of it is what they give you, and then the rest, like you can see our corn, like we were splitting the corn, which is so good. I love corn.
Right, and the tortillas come wrapped with the foil there, so they're nice and hot. And of course, you have your churros, which are also hot, unless you take pictures of them and video of them.
They weren't
then
hot
they
when
become very cold because it takes a while to get to them. But that was still hot. And again, everything was. I thought it was very good, fresh. It was better than burgers there for me. Anyway.
I thought it was better than burgers, but it is, expensive. It's again almost $15 just for the plate. I mean, we did split it, but it's still a good amount of money.
And here again is the Country Bear, sort of like the mug, the collectible mug. We had already gotten that previously.
It's called a jug.
Hey, jug, yeah. A plastic
it's like a mug,
jug.
but it has a J in it.
That's
in the
right.
beginning.
And here's a preview of the Tortuga Tavern. Lots of items with Texas toast. I like Texas toast.
That is a lot of Texas toast, though. I mean, everything except the salad.
Well, if you don't like Texas toast, you get a salad and like it. And that's it. The complaint so far has been it's a limited menu. We're going to test it out this week, though, and we'll talk about it next week.
And now we're heading into the hub. We get a lot of questions. I think more questions than almost anything on when the hub will be fully open, and now it is.
Yes, it is fully open, and they've returned the popcorn and soft drink, soda, ice cream areas that have been gone for a long time, maybe 2 years. Yeah, they used to have 2 permanent ones on either side. Now they do again. They're just a little bit further along on either side.
And here are the turrets. You have where the techs go in the booth above.
Right.
So you'll see them kind of running around. I don't know about running, but
it's a permanent place for the lighting techs and the sound techs. There's the doors that they use, and you have a nice water fountains. Water fountains. I don't know.
I doubt there's ice in there, but it looks really good. Now you can see it's not quite finished in front of the castle yet. I am hoping. Now I did say I was hoping they'd have it done for Halloween. It was not, but I'm hoping they'll have it done for Christmas.
Right.
And that's just a few weeks away now.
Well, the whole deal is it has been widened, and also the incline is less steep, and all of this is being done to make it easier for disabled access. So I think it'll be a good thing once it's finished. Here's the other side. You can get a good view of the new turret there. And
I think it looks, I think it looks very good. I'm still disappointed. I was hoping we'd get a little bit of a rose garden, but we didn't get anything.
Oh boy, here we go. I know you're very disappointed about that.
I am. But it's crazy thinking in about 3 weeks we will be seeing the first castle lighting show, which should have Anna, Elsa, Olaf. I'm assuming it's going to be the same.
It's not even Halloween yet, right?
I know, but like the day after Halloween is when supposedly there's a pass holder preview. Disney has said there's a pass holder preview of the Osborne lights. So Christmas starts right like the day after Halloween.
Here's another view from the back side of the new turrets, and you can really see where those techs are going to be able to go. I'm sure they're very happy with all that extra room. I think there's someone up there doing a little something right now, or maybe not.
Yeah, I think there might be somebody up there. I mean, you see the techs up there when we were there quite a bit. So.
And here we are. We're going to take another look at your former rose garden.
My former rose garden with no roses. And I miss that. I wish they had, just like at Epcot where you have kind of the rose walk, at least it would be nice if there were some roses nearby.
Somebody recently asked us if you can have your choice of a rose garden going away, or there was something
Osborne
else.
Lights.
Osborne Lights. Which would you choose?
Well, it was more like which one makes me more upset, and the Osborne Lights leaving makes me more upset.
So they were surprised. So it's not that bad that you lost.
No, it's still bad. Here's the poison apple, which I was surprised was for sale during the day, and Mickey as a vampire.
Right, and as you just said, both available not just to party guests. At least when we were there, anybody could buy these, as well as Hocus Pocus shirts.
And the poison apple had sold out and come back, and I think sold out came back, sort of like the Hocus Pocus shirts have. But maybe there's so many Hocus Pocus shirts and poison apples now that it doesn't matter.
Right.
We
did not buy either of them because
we bought the Hocus Pocus.
Oh, I meant the poison apple.
Oh no, we didn't buy that. We have so much.
Too many
popcorn buckets. Yes. It has to be like really good we have too much stuff.
It would have to be Walt. a popcorn bucket of Walt with
I
a big
don't,
smile.
Do I want that? I don't know.
Smoke Tree Ranch on the... Anyway, this D-Tech thing I thought was pretty cool. You can design your own phone cases. There's the Hocus Pocus one, and you can put your name on it. I think it's an extra fee if you customize it with your name. But I had not seen this before, and it seems to be a big deal there. They've taken over about a quarter of the the Space Mountain store.
Well, you can do this at Disney Springs, and there's probably other places also that you can do your phone case. The first one that I remember was at the Disney Springs location near that store that you like.
Oh, yeah, the Co-op. I know the one you're talking about, that other phone store, a whole store for the phones.
Yes, and that's where I remember seeing them first. But Space Mountain, I believe, at least a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, ended up having... they don't sell too much Space Mountain stuff here anymore, so this is what they sell, a lot of phone cases, I guess.
Right. It was interesting to see it again. And here is the area where they actually make them in the back for you. So they have this whole production. You can watch them. It's sort of like printers, but printers for phone cases.
Yeah, it's
and they have
interesting.
all sides. I don't know. I found it interesting. And here's more places where you can design them. So anyway, something new. There used to be a charging area. There used to be video games back there.
There used to be a massage chair.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's some Co-op items right there. Those are, we just mentioned the Co-op.
Yes.
And those are items from there. So
they're kind of all over the, spread around all the parks now.
Right. Anyway, that's about it from the Magic Kingdom. I think we're going to move on. What park do we go to next? Oh, Hollywood Studios. I believe
Disney's
we're
Hollywood
going to be
Studios.
here it is, Disney's Hollywood Studios. This was a sad day, though. This was the very final day for our favorite, at least my favorite, musical entertainment in all of Walt Disney World, Mulch, Sweat, and Shears.
And they were our favorites especially for the holidays when they do the fireworks presentations.
Oh, New
with
Year's
rock and
Eve
roll.
was spectacular because, we like rock music. That's our sort of thing. And at Epcot on New Year's Eve, it's usually techno and dance music and all that. So we would always go to Hollywood Studios, and we love Mulch. Oh, you can see it's raining here, by the way. Even the weather was sad to see them go. But, it was great because you had rock music and you'd have your countdown, and it was just something that we really enjoyed. So I will miss that aspect very much. Just seeing them in the park. I mean, I love the music. I think they're great performers.
They really are, and I wish I had gotten to see as much of them as, like now I'm getting to see a lot more than I did. We were there a couple of hours, and we ended up having somebody run in front of me and a friend of mine, and then she yelled at us to get back. So that was my day. Like, actually, for me, the worst day ever.
Sometimes
the worst experience ever in a theme park probably happened that day. But at the same time, we'll miss them, and I wish I had gotten to experience it as much as
I really
did.
feel bad for you. I was so busy concentrating on getting this recording. And again, it was a great send-off, and we'll talk about that fully in a second. But again, you just can't control other guests sometimes, and it turns out sometimes other guests are cast members.
Sometimes they are
off duty, so it can be even worse. I think really the cause of it was the crowd control. There wasn't really crowd control. I don't think they realized how crazy it was going to be. So anyway, let's focus on the positive here. You can see Morris Mulch just received an actual telegram. Actual telegram.
And it says actual
That's
on it.
right. And apparently it was good news for them because they have a actual record contract now, and that sort of ties up the story about why they're leaving. Now, when we were there in person, you and I both felt after the show it kind of left you with an odd feeling, but it turns out the band was behind it all along.
Right,
so,
we had found that out.
Once I found out the band was behind the ending and they supported that, then I didn't feel so bad. It wasn't sort of making light of the situation, making a joke out of their leaving. So, it was okay, and I think we felt better.
We've lost a lot of really great bands in the last couple of years off kilter. Then you have like the Billies over
Billy Hill and the Hillbillies
over at Disneyland.
But they ended up still performing
over
at
at
Knott's, so
right.
that worked out very good in the end.
But some of the best entertainment in the parks, you would think that Disney would want to keep them, but I guess it's time to move on with whatever else they are planning to do.
Well, once again, it was a spectacular send-off. I mean, a full hour set. They played just about every song in their repertoire. So,
which is a lot.
Which is a real lot. So, and again, all great stuff. Rock and Roll All Night. This is sort of their version of the Confetti. You know me, I love my
Bubbles.
Kiss. So, We will link to all of this in the show notes, the full 1 hour set, and also I did an extended encore if you don't have a full hour to devote to it, just to get a real taste of them. And again, I just think they were awesome. They are awesome, and they will be very much missed by me.
And me. And we cut the day short this day, but then we came back the next day to see Minnie Mouse.
Right, because of all the stress of trying to record that final show. And
it was hard.
It was a long show. But so we came back the next day to see Minnie Mouse, and it was almost her debut in her new meeting area here. Why don't you tell us all about Set It Up?
Well, this is based on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. They now have 4 meet and greets here. You have Minnie Mouse, who began probably about 5 days ago now. And then you have Jake, we have Sophia, and we have Doc McStuff. And so really, it's a great lineup if you love
Disney Junior.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the whole Disney Junior is represented in meet and greet form here.
And it's funny because you have, the Star Wars stuff going on like right next door.
So a perfect match. Minnie and the Imperial Empire. It couldn't be any better.
So I just thought, they kind of switched where the entrance is, and now she's meeting right over in that location.
So another sad thing going on is the Osborne Lights are ending their run this year, and we mentioned that earlier, but you found some really cool little items. Little details that maybe are new for this year, and at least new to us.
Look at Miss Piggy garland. They have, I looked up, I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks like Muppets garland above her. I didn't see her yet there. I saw that and I thought, oh, that looks like Muppets. And then I looked down and then I saw Miss Piggy's eye staring at me. So this part was not sad for me. I just enjoyed, getting to see the Osborne Lights as they go up.
We noticed a few other changes happening while we were walking around that second day. Jedi Training Academy is down, closed for now. Trials of the Temple coming soon. So that must be a new Jedi Training Academy, a different show or different characters perhaps.
Right. Well, we haven't really paid attention as much to some of the Star Wars stuff, and they probably announced it.
We should be, haven't we?
I know.
We totally should know.
I've always said I like Star Wars, but don't love Star Wars. So I don't really pay as much attention to that. Now we went to go check out this We Love Disney. Wouldn't it be great if I said I loved it, but I didn't love this Disney part?
No. Well,
I like the new seats. They have new seats,
yes,
and it smells great in there.
The great takeaway is the all new seats and the not bad smell in the theater. It's a new album. It's a new album of contemporary singers doing Disney songs, and it wasn't all to our taste. There were a few tracks that we thought were
I didn't know who some of the singers were. Most of them I actually didn't really know who they were.
We know who Aerosmith is, though. So we were over here by Rock and Roller Coaster to check out the new theater. There's a big new theater that quietly was built over here on the other end of the park, where they used to have the ESPN The Weekend.
I know, we used to enjoy that, and I'm not really a sports fan, but I always enjoyed going to that.
So it's called Sunset Showcase, and it's a brand new theater, and they have announced the first show that's going to be in the theater, and I think it starts December 4th. It was originally going to be December 5th, but how do you like that? They upped it by a day.
Pretty quick, and it's going to be Club Disney, and I don't know if it's so much a show as it is a dance party with Radio Disney, Top 40, Mickey and the Gang. So it's very, apropos, right next to Aerosmith. And the floors and walls, it says, will come alive with vivid images from classic Disney animation.
Well, if that says floors and walls, I'm thinking definitely inside. I would say you're going to be in the theater. I don't know what kind of theater this is to have that kind of room. When I think of a theater, I think of a theater like the Premier Theater, where it's all seats, but maybe it's removable seats.
Well, maybe it's more, maybe they have several theaters in here. Like, I actually have no idea what it looks like inside.
Look at how big that looks.
Or Disney Junior. Disney Junior does not have seats, so
right.
I guess you just never know.
Well, I'm looking forward to checking it out, certainly. I mean,
the new theater.
Yeah, mainly the new theater.
Right.
But I always like to see the characters, and maybe they'll have DJ Elliott or somebody like that in there. It could be good, right?
Well,
we're trying to talk each other into it. Right? It doesn't have to not.
It's fine for the audience. It's not really going to be a place we're going to be hanging out all the time.
Now, this is much more interesting to me, though. The superhero headquarters. This is coming to Disneyland Park in California, and the big news is the U.S. park debut of Spider-Man.
And we'll be there. We didn't know he was going to be there. We have met Spider-Man in Paris.
Yes, we're going to see that now. Wouldn't it be interesting if they bring all this Spider-Man setup from Paris to Disneyland? I don't expect that, and I don't expect bilingual Spider-Man either, but you never know. I thought that was one of the coolest parts about meeting Spider-Man here at Disneyland Paris, is they would ask you what language, and then Spider-Man would instantly talk to you in that language. He is very talented.
And I think not only bilingual, but many languages, because I just saw, I think, German there too.
Yeah,
so
it's amazing.
Probably 4 or 5 languages here. And there he is.
He's
speaking perfect English to us.
This was tremendous. This was one of the highlights of our trip to Disneyland Paris. It
There
was
were a lot
actually
of
it was in the Studios park. But I think it's interesting. You'll be able to meet Spider-Man here at Disneyland Paris. Also now at Disneyland Park in California. And right now you could meet Spider-Man at Islands of Adventure at Universal Studios. So boy, this Spider-Man, he gets around.
He is everywhere. Yes. it's gonna be like, I'll be talking to my dad on the phone. Oh, what did you do today? Oh, I met Spider-Man at Disneyland.
That's right. I'm sure your father appreciates the important job that we have. Anyway, Spider-Man, he's been my favorite character forever. So anyway, we're on to another thing, but I can't wait for that. Plancha. Let's talk about Plancha at the Four Seasons. Set it up.
And this is the former Osprey Ridge Golf Club, which is right outside the Four Seasons area, right outside the Golden Oak at Tranquilo Golf Club. And the food here is phenomenal. And I started seeing pictures before we went. The Four Seasons invited us, but there had been other websites who had been out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that food for a golf club. It used to be the Sand Trap Bar and Grill, which would have like sandwiches.
Mainly burgers,
right,
and things. Nothing to write home about. The Four Seasons never disappoints.
No.
One thing I've learned, they always surpass your expectations. And that was absolutely the case here at Plancha.
And I really like, it's very earth tony. It just looks nice when we went in. And okay, there's like nobody here now, but the reason is
we went at a specific time to do this, so
as soon as it opened,
right, opening, yeah,
right. And actually later in the day there was a lot more guests because the golfers were coming off the course.
Right.
But the food here is Cuban American, and we don't usually go to a lot of Cuban restaurants, so this was something really nice, a little special.
Yeah, new to us, that's for sure. And again, I love the view. I like the whole location here. Very relaxing.
Right, and there is a full bar. They had beers on tap that were not just local. There was at least one local, but some I hadn't heard of.
Right, and 5 specialty cocktails. This is the Hemingway Daiquiri. I've never seen a daiquiri look quite like this.
No, it looked more like almost like a little margarita.
Right, and that had Bacardi rum and lime, among other things in there. It was a great drink.
It was. That was probably my favorite of the drinks that we tried.
And here is our appetizer sampler that they brought out for us.
Right, like the guacamole is about half the size of the normal portion, but I'm just going to say that everything here is homemade. Even the pickle was homemade, and they just make everything in house, and they're going to have a vegetable garden too.
Right, it was perfect for a tasting. Let's start off with these. These were amazing.
This is the Cubanitos, and it's pork belly and Black Forest ham, and they tasted almost like a beef slider to me. I don't eat ham, and I don't eat a lot of pork belly, but that was phenomenal. I ate my whole one.
Right, it's something that you would never think that you would order, but you loved it, and I did also. So what's next?
And this is a black bean hummus, and I'm a big hummus fan. I'm not a big black bean fan, but I thought they went well together. We had a lot of usually I ask no black beans, and yet we had so many black bean items, and all of them were excellent.
So next is the guacamole, probably my favorite of these appetizer items.
It has the roasted corn relish, and then it has non-crisps, made in house, obviously. I think one of the only things they don't make in house is ketchup.
We've been to a lot of places where they make the fresh guac table side with all the ingredients. They do that here. It's just in the back, not in front of you. Right.
And they have the avocado in the back. And what I like also is as the non-crisps sit in there, they kind of soften up just slightly. And so that gives a very interesting flavor.
So next, empanadas.
Empanadas, I don't have a lot to say about. They were very good. There was a meat inside, and we ate ours. So I don't eat a lot of empanadas. So I think the last time I had them, it was but these were very good.
So now we'll talk about the soup.
The soup, it's black bean soup. Now this looks like a full portion, but it's actually about half portion size we each received. So those would make one full portion of black bean soup, and it was excellent.
I would go there just for the soup.
I would go there for the soup, and for about $14 you can get a soup and a sandwich. Now, the menu can change seasonally, and I think it does every few months.
I think we were told that the soup is Chef Pedro's, like, his family recipe.
I believe it is, and that's probably there all year round.
So our next course was more handcrafted cocktails.
I had the lemon basil punch, which has vodka and lemon and orange, and, basil can go either way for me in a drink, but I thought it was very good. Oh, and this is simple syrup. They brought it with my iced tea. And this is something also made in-house along with that pickle. And I thought that was a very nice touch. Even though I don't really drink sugared items in tea, I figured I'd try just a tiny bit.
Yeah, very different. You don't normally get the actual sweetener
no.
like that brought to you.
Not house-made.
So here we go. We're going to start talking about the main courses, our sandwiches.
Well, this was the El Cubano with fries. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly.
In some circles, it's known as a Cuban, and it was wonderful. I like Cubans. I know it's not something that you would normally order, but to me, I think it was possibly the best one I have ever had. Just the flavor of the meat, the cheese, everything went perfectly.
And look at the bread.
Oh, yeah.
The bread was excellent. Like everything we had that had any kind of bread, and then they had the thick cut French fries. Mine were, I think it's called yucca fries.
Yucca. Mm-hmm.
And those were very good. They tasted almost like regular fries.
Look
and
at that burger. I am getting very hungry.
This is the Plancha burger, and it was also very good, very big. And we ended up taking some of that home. Actually, both of our sandwiches, because the size of the entrees is actually quite generous.
Yeah, tell me about it. I had to bring home half of my Cuban also.
You had to.
but for good reason. For good reason, because the most important part was coming, the desserts.
Right, and we had we each had a dessert. This one is the piña with coconut ice cream. I believe it's passion fruit on top. And this was delicious. The tres leches cake, I think that's how you say it, is what you had. We split them. And this one I liked because it really had such bold flavor. And this cake was very good, but I liked the other one a little better because it was something different than what I was used to.
I agree. I like a little different, and I thought the piña was different. But I think I like that better. But they were both great. I would have either one again.
I would have, of course. They're both excellent. So.
Yes. Well, and the grand finale was these cigars. We both smoked fat cigars.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't really do that, but they did offer us cigars.
Them.
They have a nice humidor there and a whole setup. So if you are a cigar smoker, they can certainly accommodate care of you. That's right.
And it was just a wonderful experience. And nothing was negative about it. It was just an excellent food and excellent atmosphere, and we highly recommend it.
As I said before, Four Seasons never disappoints. At least we have never been disappointed.
No.
They've always exceeded our expectations, so another wonderful experience. Moving on, just this morning, we were at Give Kids the World Village for the opening of their new town hall.
And the town hall houses both office space, because the office workers were all over the place before, and it also has on the lower level the restaurants and the everything, just kind of all kinds of guest areas too.
Right, and this is the ribbon cutting ceremony for the new building. But one thing we learned while we were there is they had 3 conference rooms that the various the big theme park people in the area designed. Mm-hmm. So you had one done by Walt Disney World, one by SeaWorld, and one by Universal. And we're going to take a look at all 3 of those and see which one would everybody likes the best. We know we have a favorite, but we'll see.
Is your favorite the same as my favorite?
I think it might be. It might be, but we'll see. We'll see that very soon. But anyway, this was, again, they had a very nice ceremony.
Mayor Clayton was there.
That's right.
And Miss Mary.
That's right.
Oh, and here we are. We're going into the SeaWorld. Okay, this is the least decorated, I think, of the 3, although maybe this and Disney both are a little more subdued.
They're subdued, but there was no Shamu, so I thought it was kind of odd to have a SeaWorld display without Shamu.
Well, I thought maybe some penguins or something like that would have been nice. I know they have the fish, but it's still very nice. Okay, this is my favorite one because I love Minions and I love a lot of the characters.
You have Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. We already saw Simpsons. Spider-Man for Disneyland.
That's tremendous.
And then you have Simpsons, Jurassic Park. We have Bumblebee on the other side, which I'm sure you'll get to. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so much fun here. So if I had a room in my house decorated with decorations of these 3 rooms, this would be it.
Too bad it wasn't a hotel suite. Like
That
the
would
Minion,
be-
like sort of like the Minion room. Well, this would be the ultimate Universal room.
This actually would be like if you had a room like this. I think it would be really a lot of fun. You've got Men in Black, right? The Harry Potter,
yeah.
like everybody all together. The Grinch and
E.T. There's
E.T.
the and that is that the good Grinch, the happy
That,
Grinch?
no, that looks like the bad Grinch.
You don't
The
like
mean-
that bad
I don't
Grinch.
like the mean Grinch. I like the happy Grinch. And there's Bumblebee.
Right, and Bumblebee is kind of hidden behind the door. I found him at the last minute when I was heading out. I'm like, oh, look at this. And you'll see even the Hulk roller coaster, it's more up there in the picture
Than it right
is
now,
right now.
while it's
so
being worked on.
It's very interesting.
They did such a great job with this one. I mean, SeaWorld was nice. Now here we are at the Disney one. And these are going to be used for just whenever they need conferences at Give Kids World. And this one is nice, still a little bit more subdued than sometimes you would think. Although you have Mickey, you have Mickeys, on the chairs.
I would not mind one of those chairs.
Right? That's what everybody
right here
was saying
in
who works there.
our office where we do the show, we could each have a nice Mickey chair.
I would take one of those. But here is Mickey Mouse on the wall. And probably the most interesting thing is the light, which we'll see.
Yes, you will see that. You're going to take a look at the various doorknobs and things like that. Of course, the mouse, the big cheese.
And I did say that I consider this subdued. I do.
We're used to unsubdued.
Right. It's just, Mickey.
And
It's
maybe
not like you
that
have
subdued after all.
Oswald and, Belle and all those. It's just Mickey Mouse. And this is the reflection of the light up above.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
And you caught that. I didn't see that at first, so that was a really good catch. And there it is. There is the Mickey light. So we'll have to get one of those for our kitchen table also.
We just need themed rooms, and you have Genie out here, and
so I think they all were great. They did a great job, and we always support Give Kids the World.
absolutely, and it was fun to go out there again today.
So that's another show.
That's another show.
Thanks to our sponsors, PixieVacations.com.
As it's getting closer to the Osborne lights that we have already talked about, this is a time to think about Christmas coming down for Christmas.
That's right, and Maple Leaf Tickets, our official ticket agency, they have all kinds of good deals on tickets for a lot of the attractions that we talk about.
And Theme Park Connection, they are our original sponsor. Thank you for going and checking them out.
Right, and remember, Mousesteps, 10% off, and
Absolutely.
also online. Just use code Mousesteps. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.